There is really no room to basically say, oh, now life is getting bad, I'm depressed, I think I should stop or something. There's really no chance, right? Across the world, what happens is, when a drug is invented, if it is selling for 100 rupees initially, the cost of making the drug may be only 1 rupee. But it sells for 100 rupees. And that is to cover his costs of other failures and all the other things and everything else. Marketing costs, this, that and all.
अभी ना इंडिया में एक स्टार्टअप कल्चर चल रहा है एंड सो मेनी यंग और टीनेजर्स आर want to be an entrepreneur, successful entrepreneur in the future. Sir, as a successful entrepreneur of India, I want to ask you that some suggestions to them, then how they can be successful in future in this journey.
So, a couple of things, right? One is this. You need to make sure, first of all, that you have the right mindset for becoming an entrepreneur. And I would say, to test it, it is very easy. Don't get into business because you feel that you don't want to work for someone. That is not the right way, right? You should get into a business only if you feel that you can do something which is faster, better, or cheaper, right? You should have some USP. The starting point of the business, that is important. That should not be, boss, I've been working for someone or the other all my life. Now I think it is time I started my own business. Business should not start like that, right? It should start from an opportunity which you see, or an inefficiency which you see in the market. You see that and say, why are they doing like that, right? I could perhaps do it, much better, and I could possibly deliver the same product at half the cost, right?
Okay.
Or I could deliver a higher quality product, or I could move these things faster, right? It has to be cheaper, better, or faster. That's all. If it is not, then don't get into it. If you find that opportunity, then you dig in, do the research, see if the market opportunity is large. Because from the surface, everything, sometimes you may see opportunities which are not really right. So do the research and find out if there is really an opportunity, and if you can fund it through your own means or through friends and family. If you see an opportunity out there, then definitely you should get in. Once you get in, right, maybe in the initial stages while doing research, you can do a little bit of part-time this and that. You're working somewhere else, so you're doing some research, you're building some proof of concept, that is okay. But after that, you have to be sure that you want to do that business full-time. And that should consume you 24/7. You should work from morning to evening. If you're not that passionate, if you want work-life balance, if you also want to do this and that and all, then better you don't do it, right? So, the point I'm trying to make is this. It should get originated from the point where you think, no one else is doing this, I can do it, there's a USP here.
Yeah.
One. And then you should do it, you should do it full time with as much energy as possible so that you can really, become successful. Half-hearted efforts or businesses started without the right intention. Businesses started because you have a lot of money from your father and say, okay, everyone expects me to be a businessman, so let me go and do something out there. Those don't work.
Definitely. So, sir, I want to ask that there is so many words जो मेरा चाइल्डहुड में इतना नहीं था. Pressure, depression, frustration, stress, like that. So, entrepreneur का ना ये बहुत होता है. तो how you personally handle the pressure or the stress of work?
Honestly, as an entrepreneur, you don't really have the luxury to think like that, right? So if something is going wrong and you are the person who is responsible for the business, you have to find a solution. You can't just back down and say, I will think about it. So a lot of times you will find that when you are pushed to a corner, you will find a solution.
Definitely.
Right? Otherwise, the same solution will come to you which you have been discarding or you have not been thinking about it, but when push comes to shove and when you have to do it, you will find a solution. So there is really no room to basically say, oh, now life is getting bad, I'm depressed, I think I should stop or something. There's really no chance, right? You're probably not an entrepreneur out there. So as an entrepreneur, you're solving problems day in and day out continuously. And when the problem comes in, you are putting all your effort to solve it. Once you solve it, then you automatically feel relief and happiness about that. So that keeps you going. Then till you get to the next problem. So it is one series of things, and some people thrive on it. Right? Only those people become proper entrepreneurs.
Definitely, sir. Sir, what do you think about the future of Indian pharmaceutical industries?
Given the fact that we are looking to disrupt the industry in a major way, I think it is the right time to talk about it. Let me just, give you a little bit of the background. As I said, there are only two types of medicines out there. One is patented, which means someone has discovered the medicine and he gets the right to sell that medicine and no one else can copy it for a period of time, 17 years typically. From the time he has filed the patent to the time it expires. He has that time in which he can sell it at whatever cost he wants. No one can copy it. So he has no competition. He can make as much money as he wants. That is to encourage the person to invent. Otherwise, he will not have any inventions at all. Because the process of invention is a very, very tough one, right? If you want to invent one successful one, you might have failed in 10 or 20. So the cost of all the failures also has to come here. Hence, you get that time to do it. So that is the patented drug. Once it comes off the patent, then anyone can make it. They can just say, okay, now I've created this, because the name of the drug and what it does is all there. So some reverse engineering is possible. People will make it and say and demonstrate that it can do the same thing which the patented drug is doing. And they sell it. That is called a generic. So anyone who's making the drug other than the original discoverer is all called generic. Okay. Generic manufacturing, right? Hundreds of people make the generics. Some people focus on this patented, some people focus on making a immediate copy and selling it out there. There are only two types now. Across the world, what happens is, when a drug is invented, if it is selling for 100 rupees initially, the cost of making the drug may be only 1 rupee. But it sells for 100 rupees. And that is to cover his cost of other failures and all the other things and everything else. Marketing cost, this, that and all. May sell. Once the patent comes off, the original guy now sells it for 40 or 50 or 30 rupees. Right? He drops the price. The generic guy also makes it and sells it for slightly lesser than the original discoverer. The original guy is always original. He is always going to be there. Anyone else who copies it after the patent is called a generic guy. And there are several guys. And this guy is selling at 40, this guy is selling at 30, and everyone is running the business out there. Now, across the world, what happens is, once the drug comes off patent, when you go to a medical store, the medical store guy is giving you only one generic. He is saying, okay, sir, original drug आपके लिए ये है और इसका generic version है इतना है. You can take whichever one you want. Some customers take the original one, some customers take the generic one. Only in India, and that is because the pharma chains, the medical store chains, have 8,000 stores, 10,000 stores and all. They're very, very large, multi-billion dollar, $80, $100 billion kinds of revenue. They are able to get all this made because they are large chains. They are able to get it made, and so they get it made and put it out there. In India, we didn't have those chains, right? Why we didn't have the chains? So what does that mean? Today, as I said, only around 800 drugs account for all the sales. Now, to make these 800 drugs, what does it mean? When you go to a manufacturer, he will tell you each drug you have to make for 5 lakh units or 10 lakh units or whatever, right? So what does that mean? If you don't have that many stores, you can't sell all the 5 lakh units, right? So if you can't sell that, then you can't make it on your own. So, but with someone like Medplus, with our size, we have 4,000 stores. Even if you make 10 lakh units, we can sell 200 per store and we can get it. We can sell it. So someone like us is now able to do what people in US have been doing for several decades. So we're doing the same thing now. So if you go to Walgreens in US or CVS or any other people, if you say you want a drug, they will tell you, this is there, this patent is over, I'll give you only Walgreens generic. There's only one drug. It is not, let's say, Cipla drug or Torrent or Lupin or this guy's or that guy's generic. It's only one generic. So what does that do? That reduces the cost and that reduces everything. Because they don't have to carry so many drugs, there's no marketing cost and all. So it reduces the cost and you give it. Now the same thing is also coming to India with someone like us. Right? Today, 80-90% of what we sell in our shops is all off patent. There is no restriction, anyone can make it. We are now able to make all of these because we have the scale. We don't have any marketing cost, because we don't have to go to a doctor to write a prescription, because you as a patient come to us, we tell you, sir, I have got the thing which your doctor has told, or I have the Medplus pad. If you want, this is 50% less, so you will take it. Some of you will take it, right? So since I don't have that marketing cost, I'm selling through my own store. Distributor also, I'm my own distributor. I'm able to give it to you at a very, very less price.
Sure.
So we are able to now reduce the bills. Now lakhs of people have bought the medicines from us and saved crores of rupees in bills. You know, the average bill for a diabetic or a chronic customer is roughly around 2,000 rupees in India. Now, instead of buying at 20% discount, which we used to give earlier, right? 1,600. He is now buying the same at a 60% discount average. He's buying it at 800. So he's saving 800 per month, 10,000 per year. And you can see it is the same products made in the same factory, same top factory. There's absolutely no difference, right? Saving 10,000. So what does it mean? A lot of people are going to shift and they're all going to buy, right? Who wants to pay more when you can pay much less? Now we are the first ones to start it, but I'm sure other guys will also copy it. Sooner or later, all the other chains will also copy it. So what this will do is, like the bigger chains, when they copy it, the country will slowly start shifting to a generic model only.
Yeah.
So the answer to your question about what is the future, if a drug is without patent, people will only buy a generic going forward.
And they will lower cost.
And they will, of course, lower the cost significantly. That's one. There are two things happening here in the country. One, the Prime Minister also is telling everyone to buy generic, and that's how they set up the Jan Aushadhi stores and all, where stuff is available on a huge discount. So government is also pushing all the doctors to write only the generic name.
Okay.
It is a recommendation by the government that doctors should write only the molecule name. They should not write the brand name, right? How do you know which one is molecule name and this one? So it's very easy. I'll just show you one.
Yeah.
So let us say if you take this drug, it is Pan-D. This is the brand name, right? But the actual drug is pantoprazole, gastro-resistant and domperidone. So Pan-D is pantoprazole, domperidone. So it is all, the actual name of the drug is always written on top of the brand name. So there are two names on any strip. So you can see it out there. So if you want to understand what is the molecule name, you can just put it out there, right? Okay. You will see the name which is on top is the molecule name. And that is true for everyone, every single one of those. So you can take that, maybe go to Medplus site out there, or we can show you a QR code. You can basically go out there and click and go out there and put the name in. You will see what is the net cost to you when you buy this versus you know what you're paying, right? You can easily understand. So you will understand the savings. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make is this, that there is a shift from brands to generic. Because of two things. Because it is possible. Someone like is already doing it. Second, because the government is also encouraging people to buy. And third, and finally, there is zero need. I mean, if you want to donate some extra money, you can go and donate it to someone out there. But you are basically donating it by basically going and buying a brand out there and refusing to buy a version which is already available at a much lesser cost. You're just wasting your money.
Definitely.